Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome back as we take a look at another shelf in the Dice Tower Library. Today we're taking a look at rack 6, which is kind of a catch-all rack in a sense of there's some themes on it, but there's just a lot of different weird games on it. So we're going to start at the very bottom here. Some of my love still with these big square boxes. You'll notice the first 5 shelves, if you look at them, are the boxes the size of Ticket to Ride. And we're starting to run out of that size on this shelf, but we still have them here on the bottom. From Photosynthesis, a game that kind of was in vogue and went out a bit, I think. Just other games do sort of the same thing. Heroes of Dominaria, which is a Magic the Gathering board game, is pretty good. I'm surprised more people don't play it. Gates of Mara, some interesting stuff there from WizKids. Destinies, a lot of folks here at the Dice Tower really enjoy that game, so worth checking out. Blue Lagoon, it's an underrated Knizia game. Dice Hospital. I don't have the sequel to it because I think Dice Hospital is the better of the 2 dice games. Holly is an abstract strategy game, or Holy. It is about the paint, getting the paint all over yourself. Kind of a neat theme. And then next to that is Startropolis, which is a 3D tile laying game. Then we have Squaring Circleville, which is a square tile laying game in a circle. Eternal Palace, which is a not as good version of basically Kingsburg. I wonder if I should put that next to Kingsburg. And you can there's various other games on that bottom shelf. Planta Nubo, that's a hard game to learn. But For Science, that's a very interesting, weird, unique game that I enjoy. Coming up on the next shelf here, we have Flock Together and Planet. Now, Planet is one of those games that if you've never played it at a convention, stop and try this one out. It is a tile laying game in a sense, but you're putting them on a planet. You have a planet with magnets on in front of you. I believe it's a dodecahedron. It might be an icosahedron. I'm not sure. And you're placing them around the planet in different ways, and it's scoring points. That's fun. Stop Thief Dominaire, which is part of the Tempest universe, and is, other than Love Letter, the only game worth really talking about. New Amsterdam, Ohio. That's basically Tetris, the board game, if you've never tried that one. Spell Smashers. I'm kind of surprised I've kept that one. What a weird combination of games. And speaking of weird games, this is a row of weird games. Because when we pop over there to Crescent Moon, that is a very unique, odd game. Basically, everyone's asymmetrical. Tashkalar, the game from CG that many people have forgotten, but some people enjoy it. More tile laying. There's a lot of tile laying here. And weird things like the Deluvia Project, and a very neat Petrichor. The next shelf, though, gets less weird, because here we are just sitting with, on the first on your left, is Devir, or at least the small box games of Devir, which is a pretty, not the tiny boxes, but the mid-sized boxes, which is a really strong line. Particularly the second one there, Red Cathedral, probably the most famous of that line. Well, no, maybe White Castle right at the end. But White Castle, Red Cathedral, they're the 2 big standouts. But we also see Cities, very popular. Sand and Bamboo are right behind them. 3-Ring Circus. Salt and Sea, less popular, but still, it's a really solid line of games there. A lot of game for a decent amount of space. They probably could make the boxes bigger on a couple of those games. Moving over, in the middle, there's one of our most checked out games. Comic Hunters. Now that everyone can get it, it's going to probably be checked out a lot less. Comic Hunter sitting right next to Combo Fighter, if you like Street Fighter and want it as a card game. And then here's another game I recommend right next to that, Jokmok. Kind of a Ratchet-style mechanism. You go as far as you want, collecting cards. Very simple, fun game about a winter market. Port Royal, and we have just a bunch of other little games in that one. The last one, Rescuing Robin Hood, is a really neat cooperative game that feels unique, and I highly recommend that. All right, let's go to the next shelf above that. Rebirth is fairly new, and that one's very popular. Magic Maze and Magic Maze on Mars. I think the one on Mars is better. But again, you can see there's a lot of kind of weird, cool games in the middle. Mistborn, which is a fairly new game. Mlem, which is a piece of trash, but a lot of people like it. I kid. But there is some neat stuff here. Some more cooperative games. Rising 5. Ancient Knowledge is a pretty popular game. EcoLink, Canopy, Evergreen, and then the weird game on here, the one I would recommend you try if you've never tried, is Dive. Dive is a game where you're looking down through a bunch of transparencies and you're trying to guess how far down a shark is or fish out. It's a pretty neat game. And of course, the very classic Vegas Showdown. The top shelf, we have, again, just some oddities from last year. We have some cool stuff. Gnome Hollow, Wild Gardens, and Stamp Swap. All three of those came out last year. And all three came out to various degrees. Wild Gardens is sort of a cozy game. Stamp Swap, also kind of cozy, collecting stamps. And Gnome Hollow has magnetic boards. That's a neat thing. And then we look across. Dice Miner is one of those ones in the middle that when I played it and reviewed it, I immediately got rid of it. And yet, as I played it, more and more people got excited about it. Well, I didn't play it, but more and more people liked it. It's a very loved game. It's one where I'm definitely on the flip side. So I had to get it and put it in the library because I knew people liked it. Then we have some the Resurgence of Knizia at the top, Quo Vadis and Ra. Both of those just pretty impressive. And then Maul Peak and Skull Hollow. Some pretty neat stuff there. It's a 1v1 or two-player games. One person's a giant creature, and the other person's playing a bunch of woodland creatures fighting them off. Kavango on the side there, but then Planet Unknown, one of the best tile placement games that I've played, really. I just really like it with a rotating, like Lazy Susan style in the middle as you're building up. Just a pretty nifty game there. And in fact, on that shelf, Planet Unknown would be my favorite if Ra wasn't there, because Ra's just amazing. So that Ra's my favorite on the top shelf. On shelf 2, this one's trickier. Probably Vegas Showdown. That's just a really superb game. On the third shelf, ooh, now this one's tricky. Is it Comic Hunters? No. I like Comic Hunters a ton, but I think Port Royal wins my favorite on that shelf. And then on this next shelf here, Planet's pretty good. I think Planet's my favorite on that shelf. And then on the bottom shelf, is it Destinies? Yeah, Destinies is my favorite there. What are your favorites on this shelf? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for looking at another shelf in the Dice Eye Library. I'm Tom Vasel. We'll see you next time. Hey folks, thanks for watching another one of our videos. If you like our videos, if you like our channel, you would love to game with us at one of our conventions. Check out Dice Tower Cruise, Dice Tower East, and Dice Tower West. Fantastic conventions where we play games with wonderful people, a humongous library, and lots of other events and stuff. Also, don't forget to check out our channel, like and subscribe. I'm Tom Vasel.